Being joined by the former Secretary of Health and Family Welfare of India, Sujatha Rao, on the broadcast here on WION World is One. Thank you so much for taking time out to join us. I want to begin by asking, the Indian government has now taken steps to ban all international flights till starting the 22nd. Help us understand how helpful that could be in containing the pandemic, and what exactly is the need of the hour for India.
Well, I think it's a very good step they've taken to ban all international flights for at least another 1 week or 10 days, because that will help us to cope with whatever we have right now instead of getting more and more visitors from the affected countries. Secondly, but this banning must go hand in hand with testing every one of those people who have come from those countries. And those people who have been in contact, most particularly even if they have the slightest symptom. So it's, but then many of them need not have symptoms and they could be asymptomatic. So I think a little bit of history taking, a little bit of questioning is very, very important so that the testing can be done. Without that, this won't be of any use. The third thing is that besides the testing, when they go home for quarantine, information must be communicated immediately to the concerned state government, and the state governments in turn through the health workers or their health department must keep a tab on this person to ensure that he does quarantine himself or herself in the home. So it's a package. It's a package of a whole lot of interventions that must go in tandem. And that's very important at this stage to see that the infection doesn't spread into the community.
Right. India is yet to have a case of a community spread, and that's exactly what they say at stage 2. That's the next step to make sure that there is no community spread, because then the numbers can jump up by 100 times in a blink of an eye. We have 181 confirmed cases in India, and this is the stage to make sure that there is no community spread. So in that sense, we've seen Punjab impose a closure of public transport. Do you think that can be done across India like they did across China?
It's very problematic. It's difficult, but in states like Maharashtra, in big cities like Bombay and Pune, so largely cities is where there is a concentration of people, and that's where maybe they might have to take such kind of harsh measures to see that the infection is contained within the boundaries. Across the country, meaning, there may be several small towns and all that, perhaps it's not required there. But big cities, yes. And particularly if they have shown evidence of some infections floating there. So I would suggest that those measures be taken immediately. And the second thing is, people who come from abroad, like they might be belonging to Andhra Pradesh or Visakhapatnam, and so they get off at Hyderabad or Bangalore and Chennai and then travel into Andhra Pradesh, which is kind of not exposed to an outside international travel route. So therefore, there has to be some amount of oversight also on these people entering into such states. As I said, with close coordination with those states from the immigration authorities. I think these 2-3 loopholes have to be tightened up, and very, very quickly. I think what is most important today is speed, and that is really vital if we really want to contain the epidemic.
Right. We are counting down to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address at 8 p.m. India time today, where India's strategy to battle the outbreak will be revealed in more clear terms than what we've heard so far. I want to understand your own assessment of this pandemic, of this outbreak. How much time do you think that this is going to last? And more importantly, what do you think about India's response to it so far?
I think the response has been pretty good. I think we lost a little bit of time in February. I wish we had done what we are doing now right then in February, and middle of March would have been on top of the epidemic. But it doesn't matter. The government really moved in quite fast, and I think they're making up for the lost time. But the important thing is the enforcement part. Though lockdowns have been ordered in many states, but it's the enforcement and it is the information dissemination to tell people to take it seriously. It's not a game, it's not a joke. It's very important because that's the only way we can protect our lives. I think this phase will have to be panned out for about another 10 days. That's the window we have. And these 10 days, if we can really, all of us, the people and the government, work together to see that we contain the virus at the stage 2 and not let it go into the community, it would have been worth the sacrifices that we are making right now and the effort that is being put in by every stakeholder in society.
Sujatha Rao, former Health and Family Welfare Secretary of India, joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for being with us here on WION Dispatch. And with that, we've come...